This radio chick rocks with Emmai Alaquiva. Queeve, we call him in the streets. If you know him like that, then you know he's Queeve in these streets, yo. Your mom's house runs deep. Pittsburgh, make some noise. Emmai Alaquiva, what's good, family? How are you?
What's up? How's everyone? How are you? I'm loving your hairstyle. How it's just like it comes over to the side and then it curls up a little bit to the contour.
I mean, you know,
your whole neck joint. It just
when you know
down.
that you have an Emmy award-winning director, top shelf, high accolades.
Nah, man.
Dope with the camera, dope with the lens, about to do a one-on-one. You got to make sure your edges is tight.
No, I'm just out here just trying to do God's work, trying to do good work with some good people. I'm only here because of great people, you know, great people like yourself. So I'm just happy to be on your show. I'm so proud of you. You've really formed into a community legacy holder and all that good stuff. So I appreciate you having me on.
Little backstory, me and May, I call him May. You're not allowed to call him May. May named my website.
Oh, snap, I forgot.
May named my website, which unfortunately is not around anymore.
I forgot.
I mean, he's the one that started it. He planted the seed. He was like, yo, it's your world. It's your world, yo. Kiki'sWorld.com. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was hot. I'm surprised you let GoDaddy take it back from you, though.
I'm gonna have to get that back. I gotta get in touch with Will Fegans. We gotta get that back.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to pull up the GoDaddy, though.
Let me see if it's still available for $10.99. Well, since then, we both grown, but I will tell you, and I thank you for saying you're proud of me, but I'm super, and I tell you all the time, I'm super proud of you, family. Like, you are doing amazing work, and recently, with the help of your daughter, inspired by your daughter, who's amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. You worked on a project at PSA called Unspeakable.
Yes.
Speak on it, because those who are unfamiliar with this project, why don't you tell us real quick what it is?
Absolutely. So inspired by Michaela. So, you know, with these recent protests, you know, since George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, I've been documenting through photography and documenting through cinematography. And I would come home and sort of have these, you know, these edits that I would have to do. And my daughter would occasionally, you know, hey, Dad, what are you doing? Ha, 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 ha. Oh, what's that? Oh, you took that picture? Oh, well, did you take that one? And she began to realize that there weren't a lot of individuals that were from, you know, those with disability in the deaf sector, in the deaf community. And she was just like, you know, Dad, you know, is there anyone doing ASL? And that sort of struck me like, wow, okay, that makes a lot of sense, because their lives matter also. And those that are deaf and those who living with disabilities, they want to fight too. They want to be out here in these streets. They want to, you know, hold signs and things of that nature. And they want to hear what the person is saying on the megaphone, you know, no justice, no peace, and things of that nature. So there was one night I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 2 a.m. I started to write the script. I wrote the script in a matter of 10, 15 minutes. And we shot in 4 days. We worked with some incredible individuals, production manager Sydney Cooper, associate producer Jack Orman. We also pulled on some individuals that helped consult with us, because being as though we weren't really of the deaf community, we wanted to be very respectful of the deaf community. Mm-hmm. So we brought on Danielle Phillip, Amy Crawford, Greg Pillock. And we also, for the music and the vocals, I wanted to pull on some favors of some really great musicians that I've been able to work with in the past. One of those being Disney songwriter Bianca Blush Atterbury, mm-hmm. who wrote for Meghan Trainor. She wrote Demi Lovato's latest record, and she's from Monroeville.
Oh, that's dope.
Yes, and the composer for the music for the PSA, when you listen to it, that was Stephen Butter Anderson, who did Bow Down by Ice Cube. He produced for Nas. He did 4 cuts on Aaliyah's last album, Bless Her Soul. And he also did Been There, Done That by Dr. Dre. And Butter also, he did all the music for the Proud Family. And he did the music for a television show that's on Disney right now called Raven's Home. And he's from Belsuver.
Wow.
Right? So
that's what's up.
So you talk about getting people in a conference room to help bring this to life. I could never do this by myself. It was only because of the great work of these great individuals.
So, okay, so you have a PSA.
Yes.
This is a major project.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say their voices need to be heard, but their voices need to be heard. They have something to say. The unspeakable have something to say.
Absolutely.
You have our attention, because I'll be honest and tell you, the only time you see someone who is deaf or has hearing impaired is when they're interpreting at a press conference.
You're absolutely right, Kiki.
Only time.
Yeah.
They have a place on this planet.
They do.
So what's next?
Yeah. So there are over 600,000 people who are deaf or hard of hearing in the United States and Canada. That's about 2.3% of the population, but 1.8 of that 2.3 is African American. Wow. And Kiki, when you think of, facing a pandemic, being African American, being Black in America, just imagine being Black with a disability, especially something like being deaf. And, as I spoke about before, just imagine if you're deaf and you're Black and the officer pulls up and says, freeze, or stay right there, don't move. What do you do when that officer isn't necessarily trained to deal with orbiting around someone who is deaf or someone with a disability who can't provide proof that they are deaf? And the only proof that they have is in their pocket. And what happens when they go into their pocket when this police officer is telling you, look here, I need you to freeze?
Right.
Or what if a police officer comes up to a deaf person who's driving and he flashes the light in their face? They no longer can read their lips.
Their lips.
So a lot of deaf people are very talented at being able to read your lips.
Right.
So these are some of the things that has to orbit the new conversation on how we restructure the budget of policing and how we restructure the budget of getting people who are deaf, hard of hearing, or those with a disability inside of the room to have a new conversation.
Wow. And you've just recently gained all this information just from working on this project.
Working on this project. And then the thing is, Kiki, just a little bit of the backstory is that we got into ASL 2 years ago because as a father, I wanted to create something where me and my daughter had an even playing field.
Right.
There was no longer this superiority, inferiority complex. I didn't know more than her. She didn't know more than me. So ASL actually brought our relationship together full of love and patience.
Wow.
So it's a totally different thing than, let's go to the movies. Let's get some popcorn with extra butter. There's nothing wrong with that. But as fathers, we have to find new, innovative ways to reach our children. And ASL was amazing in being able to do that. So that's how we even got into it in the first place.
So would you encourage other families to get more involved in taking classes with ASL or looking into that?
Absolutely. And the purpose of this PSA is for 3 calls to action. The first call to action is to bring awareness to amplifying the voices of those that are deaf and those hard of hearing and with disabilities. The second call to action is that we want people to learn more about ASL and BASL. And BASL is just Black American Sign Language.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't realize is that sign language is not derivative of the English language. It's its own entire culture. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a dance, into ASL. And like, raise the roof. And that means awesome in sign language. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So, little small nuances like that of the English language versus ASL. And then the last call to action is that we want more people to support organizations and individuals alike that champion this disability work and this work when it comes to the deaf. Because some of the most incredible people on the planet Earth are deaf and hard of hearing and might have a disability.
Wow. Well, where can we see the PSA? How can we get more information?
Sure.
Give us the deets.
Yeah, absolutely. So we encourage people that they can witness the PSA, Unspeakable PSA, on unspeakableblm.org. That website again is unspeakableblm.org. Also, if you post anything or if you post on social media, we're encouraging individuals to use hashtag UnspeakableBLM so that any deaf person could click on that hashtag and find out what you are saying about their community.
Wow.
And since we released it, we have had over 30,000 hits in the first 24 hours. And it's been retweeted by Malik Yoba, actor Hill Harper, organizations across the country. We've formed partnerships and with resources and things of that nature. So this is what we need to be doing in order for us to change the landscape of artists and of our communities.
Emmai, I'm so proud of you. I mean, I know you've heard it so many times. I thank you for educating us and for teaching us something new. I mean, this is something that we definitely need to learn more about. I thank you so much. What's your email address and how can we follow you on social media?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at symbol EMMAI_ALAQUIVA. And before I go, do you mind if I teach you how to say Black Lives Matter in
Please,
ASL?
yes.
Okay, cool. Michaela, you want to try? Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hi.
Hi. So, when you go like this, you're saying for black. And
Okay.
then you push your two thumbs out like this for lives, and then you act like you're pulling your mask off. Matter.
Black Lives.
Nope, you got to push up with your thumbs.
Lives.
Lives. And then pull down the mask. Matter. That's it.
Oh.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
You're welcome.
Sweet. I still have some more practicing.
Thank you, Kiki, for having me on your show.
See that.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you more.
Yes. All right. Take care.
Peace.